Hey guys, Keegs here, and today I'm going to be talking about One Piece. One Piece is a Japanese manga created by Mr. Oda back in 1997, which was later adapted to an anime 2 years later. It's one of the longest running mangas ever made, and probably one of the longest running graphic novels of all time, and probably one of the longest running TV series of all time if you count The Simpsons or Family Guy. It's achieved so many milestones for how long it's been going on for so many years, and from what I've heard, it's about to wrap up. And today I'm going to be talking about not the first 100 One Piece episodes, not the first 200 One Piece episodes, but the first 300 One Piece episodes. Isn't that crazy? I've seen over 300 One Piece episodes out of 1,000, so I got a long way to go. I gotta say, the world building in this is incredible. It's one of the best. It's up there with Token level world building. Got some incredible ideas about not just pirates and the Marines, but other islands that go on within the One Piece universe. And within the first 60 episodes, it's more of a build-up story with the first 5 characters you get introduced of their origin story, how they discover friendship with one another. And then after that, you end up discovering more of the world. You end up seeing them going to different islands, meeting new characters. I really love about it. I love how the idea of each story is presented within this universe and how everything is connected the way it's supposed to be. The pacing is a little slow to get into at first, but when you get through the first 60 episodes, it starts to get really interesting. Not all arcs are going to be the best, but there are some that stand out more than the rest, and there are moments within the worst arcs that are really good, but everything else kind of sucks in between there. The first thing I want to talk about is the characters of One Piece. You gotta start off with Monkey D. Luffy. He's basically a mixture of Bugs Bunny and Goku. Monkey D's Luffy's goal is he wants to be king of the pirates, and I could definitely tell. At first you might think, oh, he's just a OP shonen anime character that just walks around and is just super powerful. Yes, that's true at first, but then you discover later on in the series that he just doesn't have to rely on himself as the big solution. He realized that he needs to rely on other friends or other people to help out with the situation. He's kind of like the savior, the One Punch Man type of hero that comes in and then just basically solves everything, even the whole situation of how he gets his whole crew together. That's the one thing a lot of people can criticize about early Luffy, is that how goofy he is. He's a little too goofy, but I enjoyed the goofy aspect of Luffy. I think it works really well, especially for the tone it's trying to carry about how he wants to be the king of the pirates, even though all pirates are the meanest people on Earth. He's basically the first nice pirate you can have him come across. And then you got Zoro. I gotta say, Zoro is just badass. One of the best sword fighter characters ever. You get to see his motivation of why he wants to join Luffy's crew, and then you see more of his motivation when he ends up coming across Mihawk. Later on in the series, he ends up having a huge goal that he wants to achieve, him trying to beat Mihawk and being the best swordsman and across the 7 seas. Then you got Nami. Nami is one of the smartest characters in the series, and she's more of a leader than Luffy at times. She actually is way smarter than 2 of the other characters I talked about before. Let's just say Zoro has 0 direction skills. She's the navigator. She ends up knowing where everything is at times. She loves stealing treasure. Her story is actually the most emotional one out of all of them. I won't say much, but it involves fish people. Then you got Usopp. He's honestly my least favorite character in the series. Doesn't really do much. I get it, he's the mechanic, but he's not really the best fighter, and he ends up being the most cowardly out of all of them. Even though he has like the brains as well at times, he has like no mechanic skills, and he's one of the best snipers in his crew. I will give credit, he does have some good sniping skills, but he's just a liar, and you can tell with his design, he kind of reminds me of Pinocchio with the long nose. Then you got Sanji. Sanji is the best kicker you can ever find. Also, he's a chef. Yeah, without Sanji, Luffy will be hungry as hell. I want to see him in the next episode of The Bear.
Step out. To Marcus and Step out. Okay, I'm gonna talk to Marcus.
Get the fuck off my expo chef now!
I will say, one of the main criticisms I have with Sanji is that he could be a pervert at times, and it could be really annoying. The next character I want to talk about is Chopper. otherwise known as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with a blue nose. Chopper is the good doctor of the group. He's very cute and adorable as a little kid. He's kind of a baby. He's voiced by Pikachu from Pokemon. He's one of my favorite characters in this show. I love everything about him. I will say his backstory is actually my second favorite out of the crew members. Everything on Drum Island is like a Christmas special. Up next is Nico Robin, female Indiana Jones. She's the archaeologist of the group that has a lot of hands. And those are the first Straw Hat Pirates. Let's go! The first 60 episodes are a setup arc. After that, we get certain smaller arcs here and there, and then we get to the big arc, which was Alabasta, which is basically a huge desert theme arc. Alabasta might be my second favorite arc that I've seen so far. After that, we go to Skypiea, which is my least favorite arc because they're in a sky island. They're dealing with native tribes battling each other with colonialism. One Piece is one of the most political animes ever made. And then there's the Foxy arc. And then there's Water 7. It's basically this huge utopian water place. A lot of stuff is introduced during this one. Then we get to Envy's Lobby. This is when shit gets really interesting. Everything about that arc is just really good. Even if it's long at times, it gets the whole idea of what One Piece is. I'm currently on CP9. CP9 is the arc that I'm currently on. A lot of stuff is happening with the characters. I love how each character does their own individual fight with one another. I feel that's what's really cool about the characters in One Piece, is how strong they get every time. Even Nami's a really good fighter. At first I wasn't really buying Nami's fighting skills. I was a little confused, but then I started to understand it more when you see her use her skills. Zoro has most of the best fights. Luffy also has one of the best fights. One of my favorite fights with Sanji is in Alabasta. I'm not going to get into detail, but he fights this one character that is able to switch faces constantly. That character ends up being one of the gayest One Piece characters of all time. I also want to talk about the 4Kids dub of One Piece. Man, have you heard the theme song?
Don't give it up, Luffy. Don't give it up, Zoro. Don't give it up, Nami. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Man, it's very 4Kidsy. You can definitely tell. They gave Sanji a lollipop. They censor all the guns into water guns. They blurred out some very excessive character deaths. The idea of the 4Kids One Piece dub started when 4Kids was looking for a new Saturday morning cartoon anime like Pokemon to adapt, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Then they came across One Piece. They didn't know how gory and violent the series was presented, and they were only given the first 100 episodes by Toei, cutting a bunch of things out, presenting it in a Saturday morning cartoon. They took out the music. The music was already incredible in the Japanese version, so you end up watering it down into the same soundtrack from Sonic X. It was not a good introduction to One Piece in the US. And thank God, during the start of the Skypiea arc, they end up going back to its original roots and making it more adaptable from the source material and not having to deal with that again. It was actually my introduction to watching the series. I ended up watching the series at the Alabasta arc, which it was airing on Toonami at the time, but they were airing the 4Kids dub, so it ended up being really cringe and annoying. I remember having to watch One Piece before getting into Naruto, because that was the time when I was watching Naruto. I was a Naruto head at that time. I also watched some of the early Japanese episodes on YouTube back in the day when anime was free all over YouTube with my older brother. We would constantly watch the first 30 to 40 episodes of One Piece in Japanese. Buggy the Clown is the only person I've seen so far to damage Luffy's hat. There's no other character I've seen that Luffy has come across that has ever damaged Luffy's hat in the entire series. I've never seen it from Don Cree. I haven't seen it from that dude with the long Freddy Krueger fingernails. I haven't seen it from Arlong. I haven't seen it from Smokey. I haven't seen it from Crocodile. I haven't seen it from Drum Drum King, Munch Munch King. I haven't seen it from Boingo Boingo. I haven't seen it from Thunder God. I haven't seen it from Foxy. I haven't seen it from any of CP9 or any of the characters that Luffy has ever beaten up so far. At least what I've seen. Maybe in the future One Piece there's been things going on where Luffy's hat has been damaged, but from what I've seen so far, Luffy's hat has never been damaged in the entirety of what I've seen in One Piece so far. So I wonder if Luffy's hat is the key to One Piece! Nah, that would be bullshit. I kind of want One Piece to be a mystery at the moment, but It's just a theory. A One Piece theory. If you have nothing to watch, if you're struggling to find something to watch on television or streaming, go watch One Piece. Thank you for checking this video out, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.